Did you know the Amish almost never throw their clothes away? Not even when they're ripped, faded, or 20 years old. Instead, they transformed them into things so unexpected you'll never look at a shirt or dress the same way again. Today, you're about to see 10 of the strangest, smartest, and most shocking things Amish families do with old clothes, traditions that modern people would never imagine. Let's begin.
For the Amish, clothing is not fashion, it's function, identity, and discipline. So when a dress becomes too worn out to use, that's just the beginning of its life. First, Amish women carefully remove the seams, unfold the fabric, and study which parts are still strong enough to reuse. A dress that looks ruined to us can still become a brand new apron, children's clothing, head coverings, or even pocket linings for men's trousers. Every tiny piece of fabric is saved. Nothing goes in the trash unless it's absolutely impossible to reuse. The craziest part? A single dress can be recycled into 3 or 4 totally new items, all handmade, all stitched with the same patience the Amish are famous for. And this is only the beginning.
When clothes are too damaged even to turn into new garments, they're woven into one of the most iconic Amish creations, rag rugs. These rugs are made completely from old shirts, dresses, pants, and aprons. Nothing new, nothing wasted. To make one rug, Amish women cut fabric into long strips, twist them, braid them, and then weave them together on wooden looms that have been passed down for generations. They can take weeks or even months to finish a single rug, but the result is durable, colorful, and lasts for decades. Some Amish families still have rag rugs made by great-grandmothers nearly a century ago. For the Amish, this isn't crafting, it's tradition. It's memory. It's a way to keep their ancestors alive inside their homes.
Even the pieces that seem useless, tiny scraps, ripped edges, faded cloth, all have a purpose. Here are the strange things Amish families do with the smallest leftovers. Quilt stuffing made from shredded fabric, hot pads and oven mitts, cleaning cloths that last for years, hand-woven baskets lined with soft textile, homemade toys for toddlers, beanbag-style cushions filled with tiny cloth pieces, and the most shocking? Memory quilts. When someone dies, their clothes are cut into pieces and turned into a large family quilt, a blanket made from the fabrics of every stage of their life. It's emotional, it's symbolic, and it's something the modern world has completely forgotten: how to actually preserve memories instead of throwing them away.
When Amish clothing is no longer useful at home, it enters the community cycle, one of the most unusual recycling systems on Earth. Clothes are traded, repaired, reused, passed down, and eventually donated to Amish-run charity sales called benefit auctions. At these events, broken clothing is sold for fabric, old dresses are purchased for quilting, worn trousers become patch material, damaged coats are turned into winter blankets, and everything earns money for community emergencies. Hospitals, barn rebuilds, medical bills, disaster relief, all funded through the sale of old clothing. To the Amish, fabric isn't trash, it's value, it's community, it's survival.
One of the strangest things outsiders notice is how obsessively the Amish repair clothing. They don't just patch holes, they restore clothes like antique experts. When a shirt gets worn, they don't throw it out. They open the seams, replace only the damaged areas, flip the fabric inside out, and sew it back so clean you can't even tell it was repaired. To them, a damaged shirt isn't trash, it's a challenge. Amish mothers even teach children to fix their own pockets by the age of 6. Teens learn a skill called blind stitching, which is like surgery for clothing. No machine, no marks,
no noise, just quiet, steady hands. It's almost scary how long they can keep one shirt alive. Some families keep work clothes going for over a decade, even through multiple generations. In a world obsessed with buying new, the Amish have turned repairing into an art form. When a piece of clothing can no longer be worn, the Amish don't see ruined fabric. They see raw material. Old men's shirts become harvest bags for corn and potatoes, tool wraps for keeping sharp tools safe, saddlecloths for horses, protective sleeves for saw blades, heavy-duty workshop rags. Women's dresses often transform into children's bonnets, laundry organizers, bread-warming cloths, fire-starting rolls made from dried cotton strips, clothing for dolls. Some Amish even turn old dress belts into Bible covers. Yes, you heard that right. Their most sacred item protected by recycled clothing. The mindset is simple. If God gave you fabric once, you honor it until the last thread disappears. Amish communities don't rely on modern stores during emergencies. Instead, they keep a massive collection of old clothing items that have been processed into survival materials. Old coats and overalls become winter insulation for barns, bedding for sick animals, padding for buggy seats, fire-safe barriers for stoves. Shredded fabric gets turned into something called draft stoppers, long, heavy rolls placed along doors and windows to block cold wind during brutal winters. But the strangest part? During blizzards or power outages, Amish families use layers of old clothing as heat walls inside the house, creating insulated sleeping areas that trap warmth better than plastic or modern foam. To the Amish, old clothes aren't useless. They're life-saving equipment waiting for the right moment. When the fabric has been cut, used, shredded, rewoven, and repurposed until nothing recognizable remains, the Amish send clothing into its final form. Tiny threads are collected and burned in controlled fires, but not as waste. The ashes are used for fertilizing gardens, enriching soil, making homemade lye soap, and keeping pests away from crops. It's shocking to realize a single Amish dress can become cloth, to patches, to rags, to stuffing, to quilt, to rug, to insulation, to dust, to soil. Other communities only talk about zero waste. The Amish actually live it. Old clothes don't end in a landfill. They return to the earth, the same way everything in Amish life eventually does. So the next time you throw away a shirt because it has a tear, or a pair of pants because they faded, remember this: the Amish have built an entire system where almost nothing goes to waste. Their old clothes become rugs, quilts, toys, blankets, and memories that last longer than modern fashion ever will. If the rest of the world lived even 10% like the Amish, we'd save millions of tons of clothing every year. Thanks for watching, and if you want more surprising stories about Amish life, hit subscribe. There's so much more to uncover.